una viola sica incontradua. Eso estado un'ora contemplenne cusar cosas confusue incantadua.
Canto tenore is a style of singing which has an important role in Sardinian cultural traditions, both because it is a pure artistic expression of this island, free from the constraints of external influences, and because it is also a social expression of an idyllic agro-pastoral world, social layer that symbolizes the island from every point of view, and on which the Sardinian people has rooted their own origins. Canto tenore has been inserted in the UNESCO among the masterpiece of oral and intangible heritage of humanity. The quartet that composed Subenore, an ensemble of 4 singers, consists of Subasso, or bass voice, Zacontra, or baritone voice, Zamesuboker, or contralto voice, and Zaboker, or solo voice, that in addition to singing lyrical poetry, you have to give the rhythm and tonality that real choir must follow harmoniously. Bass voice is the first guttural voice of the ensemble. Its sound is issued by a particular continuous vibration of vocal cords. It has the task of building the foundations of the melody, playing a basic note referred to the tonality previously established by solo voice. Canto tenore was strongly influenced by Gregorian chant, characterizing the timbre of its bass voice that in some cases lost its gutturality and sings an octave down more. This can be listened, for example, in religious songs of Sant'Antonio and Bosa. Baritone voice, linking harmoniously to bass voice on an interval of fifth, forms the classic guttural accord, peculiarities which is the real difference between canto a tenore and other forms of polyphonic expressions. Finally, contralto voice acts as sweeter factor against the harsh sound played from the duet bass voice baritone voice. Its lively melody has the task of completing the polyphonic trio, making it sound more lively and above all more vague. Contralto voice, in fact, is the only component of the ensemble who continuously changes its melody. On the contrary, bass voice and baritone voice usually change tonality only when solo voice sets a different one. The Tenores di Bitti, is one of the most famous voice ensembles. It comes from Bitti, a little town in the north of Sardinia. It is dedicated to writer Michelangelo Mialino Pira and was born in 1995. The ensemble is composed by Omar Bandini, Marco Serra, Bachisio Pira and Dino Rullo, which have participated in the past to prestigious events and concerts around the world: Argentina, Canada, Sweden, France, Austria, Czech Republic, Spain, Denmark, Germany, Luxembourg, Slovenia, Ireland and Japan. The origin of Launeddas is traced back in the 18th century before Christ, on the basis of a bronzetto representing a player that was found in the Campania of Italy, in the northeast of Sardinia, close to the sea. The Sardinia bronzetto is a bronze sculpture typical of the ancient Nuragic culture that for a long time dominated Sardinia territory. Archaeologists are not yet able to establish with precision the age of these figurines. Even if it has alleged they have been carved during the period from the 19th to 60th century before Christ. The traditional music in Sardinia, both sung and instrumental, is one of the most ancient and rich in the Mediterranean. Just we can think that in a vase dating back to the culture of Thieri, about 3000 before Christ, are documented a typical Sardinian dance. It is impossible to know which musical instruments were played by artists of that time together with Launeddas, but presumably it was the most ancient of all, human voice, with which most likely the neuragic are practiced in the long, since they are able to draw up an incredible polyphonic choir through tenores. This indigenous sound, thousands of years ago, determined the birth of a unique polyphonic musical instrument, the Launeddas, formed by 3 canes. The longest, called Zutundu, is linked to the Mancosa Man and then to the Mancosed. In order to be played is using a breathing technique very particular called circular breathing, inspiration and expiration, thanks to which it is possible for the performer to provide breath without interruption for several minutes. About the origin and the etymology of this instrument, it is plausible that Launeddas is much more ancient of the 18th century before Christ. Labu, in fact, is a Sumeric word which means the great bladder swells. The instrument is formed by 3 canes that have different measures and thickness, and it ends with a kabitzina, where is obtained the reed. The bass sound is played by the longer cane, bashu or tungu, and it provides only one note. The tonic on which is tuned the whole instrument, pedal note or bordone, and it is devoid of holes. The second cane, called Mancosa Man, is used to play the notes to the accompanying, and it is tied with twine impeciato to the longer cane to create the group of 2 canes called crova. The third cane, called Mancosed, is free and it has the function of playing melody notes. On Mancosa and on Mancosed are carved 4 rectangular holes on pre-established distances of the fingering of musical notes. The 5th hole, called Arrifin, is obtained in the terminal part of the canes, opposite the reed. Reeds, always made of cane, are simple, free of beating and splitted off in a single cut until gnawed. Tuning is carried out loading or making slight reeds with the help of beeswax. To make Launeddas is not used the Mersey cane, Phragmites australis, but the river cane, called also Arundodonax or common cane, and the canna masca or canna sedori, a particular type of sugar cane that grows mainly in the territory between Samazzai, Saluri, Barumini